You know, it's really telling how terrible a show is when fans of the show care more about knocking the haters and owning the haters than actually just, I don't know, enjoying the show. It's proof that they need validation. And if the show is good, they wouldn't need that at all. And as you can tell, I'm talking about Rings of Power here. Let's go ahead and dive right into the video. So here's a tweet with, of course, all of the proper tags going on here. It says, me watching the Rings of Power and not caring about the reviews or complaints from the fan base and simply enjoying the fact that I'm watching a Lord of the Rings series. All right, a few things wrong with this. First of all, if this is your idea of an actual Lord of the Rings series, that's interesting, I will say. But secondly, like I said, you don't need validation. If you think the show is actually good and you enjoy it, you don't need validation. Or even if you can acknowledge that a show is bad but you still like it, you don't need the validation of it. I think about stuff that I like, and I don't need other people to like it. I can still enjoy it, whether it is actually good or objectively bad, because sometimes there are some movies or TV shows that I like that are objectively bad. Look at the very first Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movie. I would consider that movie objectively bad. If I were to actually have to give it a ranking and a fair ranking without putting my own bias into it, I don't know, I'd put it somewhere at about a 6. Okay, but I enjoy the movie. I think it's fun, and therefore it doesn't bother me that, okay, here's an objectively bad movie that I still like. So in cases like this, or like I've demonstrated in a recent video with She-Hulk, a lot of, now obviously not all, but a lot, what you see from a lot of the fan base of these shows, as little as they may be, they can be very insecure about the fact that the shows that they are enjoying are objectively bad, and that's why they feel the need to try to make digs at us. Or like I said in that recent She-Hulk video, them calling everybody who doesn't like it an incel, for example, which was absurd. You can watch that in that whole video. So in this case, like, I saw this reply that really stood out. Said, this is my methodology for watching any overhyped TV show or movie. Examples include Wheel of Time, Rings of Power, Gender Swap Ghostbusters, Reboot, etc. Watch the show, decide if I like it, move on. By the way, I liked them all. Now, one thing I actually appreciate about this comment is look how he says overhyped. You know, this guy has a little bit of self-awareness going on, which is, I know, shocking in social media this day and age. Okay, he's like, okay, see these movies? These are, you know, overhyped shows or movies or whatever. But I like them. You know, good for you, Arturio. Good for you. That's where like I said with the first Tomb Raider movie, that's where I stand with that. But for some reason, there are a lot of people who feel like they can't just enjoy something, and that's why they're constantly saying, just let people enjoy things, just let people enjoy things. How is somebody else not liking somebody or memeing on it, making jokes about it, or just, you know, being absolutely vocal about the things that they don't like and their critiques and all that? Why is that keeping you from liking it? It shouldn't. I know there's plenty of things I like that people will dunk on. I will even laugh at it because there's some self-awareness going on here. I think that's a key ability everybody needs to learn to harness in life in general. I think we'd all be better for it if we can all practice more self-awareness in our day-to-day life. I saw this, which obviously is a fair critique. Some critiques that I've just pulled up that I think are fun. This says, when the showrunners are so arrogant, they believe they can improve on the source material. Yeah, and this is what constantly happens. Of course, you have the critics who are, you know, kissing some butt here, and then you got audience score, which is a lot more accurate. Also, I just spent some time looking at the Rings of Power on Prime tag just to get some laughs today. Sometimes to find the light, we must first touch the darkness. What in the Kingdom Hearts writing is going on here? You know what? I like Kingdom Hearts, but let's be real. Now here's something I feel like, you got to grasp onto any good thing you possibly can with this abysmal show. And in this case, it's Elves definitely win the award for best glassware design. The glass stem is a work of art. When can I get a set of these for my dinner table? I will give them that. This is a very cool glassware design. Sometimes you just gotta celebrate the little things when you don't have much to hold on to. Now you got this that says kids need to see themselves in our stories, which isn't true. That's just, I made videos on this as well. That's breeding narcissism when you're teaching your kids that they can't enjoy something unless they see themselves in it. And most kids, quite frankly, just don't care. When I think about being a kid and my favorite characters, they didn't look like me, and that was never a criteria of whether I would like a character or not. But, let's take this at face value, right? So this is part of the marketing. This is one reason why Rings of Power even did what they did, so that with the casting and with changing the atmosphere, the characters, and all that, they did that as a shield so that they could just call people who didn't like the show racist, sexist, whatever it is. They wanted to be able to use identity politics as a shield to disguise just how awful and terrible the writing is, which is as I keep saying, the most egregious thing is the writing and Galadriel's portrayal. But they wanted to have a shield here. But okay, let's say for a second, okay, does Amazon actually care about them? Okay, well, let's go ahead and look at the cast salary, which some of you guys brought this to my attention on my last video, which I didn't even know. So, holy moly. This is a $1 billion budget, supposedly. $1 billion. Amazon, Lord of the Rings. This is supposed to be huge. You're supposed to think of, that you would think that these actors are all millions and millions of dollars that they're getting. But let's see how much they get per episode, okay? Elrond, $30,000 per episode. Okay, now that's, $30,000, some good coin. But I mean, to be in an episode, per episode of a Middle-earth Tolkien work, television series, $1 billion budget with printed on scale armor. What? Okay. This is top billed cast too. White man. Prime, Amazon really cares. Finding that. Okay, Cynthia. All right. Okay, so she's tied with top. Okay, I guess maybe that might make some difference there. But granted, she's in less episodes than Elrond, I believe. 30,000 for one episode. Okay. Okay, so far, we've got Durin, we've got Isildur, they're getting paid less, 25,000. Bronwyn, 35,000. Okay, white woman, top billed cast. Morfydd Clark, this is the star of the show. 20,000 an episode. She's one of the least paid here. And she's the star of the show. Granted, I think she's overpaid given how terrible her character is, but that might not entirely be her fault. But okay, let's go ahead and see who are they using for marketing more than anybody almost, and who are they using to try to virtue signal and try to say, hey, we're inclusive, we're great. They're using their elf here, Arondir. I forgot to say for a second. Arondir, okay? Arondir and Dissa. Dissa is the dwarf character, the female dwarf of color. that they want to shove into marketing, and they want to make themselves seem so virtuous for these. Look at this, Arondir, 15,000 an episode. One of the lower billed cast. Look at that. I don't see Dissa on this list at all. Interesting. So that means they paid her even less, okay? We've got Nori Brandyfoot here with 10,000 an episode, and this is as low as it goes. So, wow, Amazon, who are just such pioneers of inclusivity and who care so much about let the children see themselves, interesting that they paid that the cast of inclusivity, they paid them the least. But they care. Gosh. And just to lighten things up a little bit from this, I found this account that is actually quite funny. They're finding a bunch of like plot holes and kind of memeing on the show. And in this case, it says, so let me get this straight. She says here, this is where Galadriel says, I've just convinced Numenor to send 5 ships and 500 men, okay? Each one of these small ships carries 100 men in addition to horses and supplies. Let me move my fat head as I say, look at that. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, it's just like I said in my last video, where did the budget freaking go? Because they aren't paying their cast. They're not paying their wardrobe peeps with the cheap armor and then such that they've been making. They aren't paying extras that well for how they're copying and pasting crowds, where this is a giant scam. But anyway, yeah, the point of the video, you know what you're watching ain't that great if you're having to spend all of your efforts knocking people who don't like it. So a little self-awareness goes a long way in this situation. Obviously, when I make my videos or I knock on stuff, if people want to like it, go ahead and like it. I ain't telling you not to. I'm just sharing why I don't like it and my issues with everything. And in this case, I feel like it's the audacity and the pure arrogance to say, hey, we can completely transform Tolkien's work and make it into our own thing to fit the modern world, when this isn't supposed to be the modern world. It's not. Let works of fiction be works of fiction and not have to reflect the modern world. If I want to watch something of the modern world, I will go outside and touch some grass. But anyway, yeah, I could go on, but there alas will be more videos where I can touch on more things. But thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will see you next time, and in the meantime, go boom.